Do you know that feelings of anxiety comes from feeling like you're not doing enough? It doesn't mean you're just lying in the bed and doing nothing. It's more like you're actively doing something but feeling like you're not busy enough and productive enough. I was going through moments that the anxiety was the huge motivation in my life. But now I realize that's like the unstable foundation. So I shifted into another one. So today I want to talk about those story, share the thoughts and perspectives with you guys. So welcome to the first main episode of the Homes Lifestyle. Today I want to talk about something little honest. So I was always the high achieving kid, like top of the class, got into one of the competitive high school, got to the colleges that most of the people would love to go. And ironically, that was the period when I felt the most worthlessness and the anxiety kicked in. Recently, I started to watch the drama We're All Trying Here. It's a new Korean Netflix drama. And I'm not usually a drama person, but my mom likes the writer of the drama so much, so she suggested me to watch this together. And I don't regret it at all. I highly recommend this. So, for those of you who haven't watched this drama, it's about people who try to good enough, like in relationship, career, reputation, and in a lot of areas in their life. The main character, Dongman, he's the only person among his friends group who haven't made any films under his name. So he usually feels anxious, loneliness, shame, and hunger. And watching him, I was like somehow relate with him. And I was like, oh, I've been through those moments in my life too. So I was inspired by that drama and decided to share this topic with you guys. So, worthlessness is one of the feelings that you cannot easily capture in that moment. Those are the feelings that when you have already burnt out or in the depressions or face like existential crisis in life and you realize, oh, what's the whole point of the life? Like you feel somehow meaningless and you feel like you're not worthwhile to live. For most of the time, like I said, I was always like good kid, study hard, have enough good friends. And I feel like the state of being good, performing good, is like core identity to me. And then after I got to the university, I realized there's so much other areas in the life more than academics, like careers, social skills, datings, career planning. And I was like, oh my God, there's so many things I should be good at. And at some point, I was so overwhelmed and feeling like I'm behind all of it. And that's the moment when I faced the real anxiety. Indeed, there is a psychological term, contingent self worth, when your sense of self worth depends on external outcomes. The more you tie those self worth with the outcomes, it's more easy to feel the burnout and depressions. So it's not like me problem, it's like a psychological term. And when I face those moments my early 20s, I grab onto something to hold me through and it was routines, feeling I'm controlled in something. Even though I feel like I did shitty, not productive enough, I still went to the gym and saying to myself, at least I worked out. At least I did something healthy to myself, so it's worth living. But even with all of it, the hunger never really went away. So I write a journal ever since I was in high school. So I kept it still. And recently I reread it, one of the phrases, and found the most anxiety in some few journals. So I want to share a few of it. So I'm going to read it in Korean and then translate it into English. So the first one is from 2023 October. It says, 기본적으로 불안함을 자주 느끼고 그걸 잘 알아차리는데 그때는 스스로 워워를 외친다. 멋진 어른이 되고 싶은데 나는 아직 어린애 같다. I feel anxious a lot and I notice it and I kept telling myself to calm down. I want to be a cool, put together adult, but I still feel like a child. And another thing is from 2023 July. 스스로 매력적이지 않다고 느낄 때마다 새로운 프로젝트를 시작하며 나의 존재 가치를 증명하는 것 같다. 뭔가 주춤한 것 같을 때 새롭게 일을 벌리면서 채우는 느낌? Every time I feel less charming, less impressive, I start a new project. Like I'm trying to prove I exist. When things are stagnant, I create something new to fill the gap. And the last one is from 2023 April. 벌써 외로움이 들 때가 있다. 내가 원하는 나의 모습과 현재 나의 모습에 괴리가 있을 때 그런 감정이 든다. 때론 살짝 풀어지고 내려놓고 싶다. 망가지고 싶다. Loneliness hits out of nowhere. It comes when there's a gap between what I want to be and who I actually am. Sometimes I just want to let go, to fall apart completely. So the last one, I want to fall apart completely, that's the one that drama captures really well. So when Dongman feels like he's not worth living, he's trying to prove himself as self-destructing. And for me, that was binge eating. Whenever I feel like I'm not good enough and worthwhile, I binge it and try to feel the hunger that never really made me full. It's not like a physical hunger, it's more like mental hunger. And at that moment, I feel like a cathartic release at the moment, like eat a lot of things that I usually wouldn't do and drink too much. But at that moment, it feels really good and feel like I'm so free and released. But after a few hours, you face the more hunger and anxieties. So I realized at the moment, my worthlessness comes from doing nothing, like feeling stuck. You're not growing, developing enough. Like you're not actually planning for the future and working on something for the careers. So I guess as soon as I got into the colleges, I kept trying to do new things like entrepreneurship club, startup competitions, and exchange program. And I guess during those exchange program time, that was the period when I think about the worthlessness the most. The reason that I went to America for the exchange student was to see if I can adjust in a new circumstances. See, I want to like throw myself and challenge into new circumstances. But more than I expected, I doubted too early. Like within a 2 months, I meet a lot of friends and set my routines and feel like I learned English enough and experience a lot of culture experiences. And I was like, what is the point of staying here? I want to go back to Korea and feeling like I'm basically burning monies. Like I feel like I've done a lot of things there and feeling like, what's the point? I don't have anything else to do, which sounds ridiculous, but here's what happened in my head. I cannot start a new project or even not the part-time job. I cannot be any more productive. And I was like, what's the point of staying here? I want to go back to Korea. And in those moments, I also wrote a lot of journals and found some tips that break through the worthlessness for some moments. So I'm going to share those tips a little bit. So the first one is give it a boundary. Because in those worthless phases in your life, you feel like this moment will last forever. Like this loneliness will be forever. This job search will be forever. But as you know, nothing is actually a permanent. So as soon as I booked the return ticket to Korea, my mindset shifted. Like, oh my God, I have only 2 months left. And all of a sudden, I came up with a lot of lists that I actually didn't do. So if you were in the job search area, or if you really want to make a genuine boyfriend, you're feeling like you're waiting for that happening to you. But let's suppose that I came from the future after 6 months and telling you, I saw you found the dream job you want. I saw you had a dream boyfriend that you had. Then how do you spend the last 6 months? Probably you want to invest yourself more and just feeling fulfilled and ready and enjoy those moments, the present with you. When life feels infinite, it feels pointless. But when you set the boundary, you feel like and realize the things you can do more. And you're like, oh my God, I don't have any more time. So you can do something and start something. And the second thing is do everything, and the circumstances will change if you actually move. So nothing happens until you actually do something. So after realize that I have only 2 months, I started to ask my friends to go to like new travel with the new friends. Like I travel Miami, Disneyland. Usually those are the things I wouldn't usually do. But for some reason, I feel like I need to move and actually start something if I really want to make changes. So when you're in a worthless season, you're tempted to wait for the perfect time, perfect opportunities, or a perfect someone to save. But as you know, life doesn't actually wait for you. You have to reach towards something and get close to the something that you wanted. And the last thing is the moment that you were saying, probably the one that you have wanted in the past. While I was writing a journal at the moment, like during existential crisis, I then realized, wait, this moment, the moment I've settled in, made a lot of friends, that's exactly the one that I wanted before actually coming here. And all of a sudden, after feeling like I achieved everything, now I seem to want more and not actually content about the things that I already have. And it clipped me. And I was like, maybe, probably, I need to enjoy this moment more. I realized the present might be the future that the past you desire the most. So I got so humbled and found something that I can at least grateful. So after I came back to Korea, I was about to join the new club, but I was thinking back, hold on. I need to have a really deep thinking about myself and I need to find the real reason underneath of it. So in the drama, the Dongman really likes to talk. He just cannot stop talking. And once Dongman told to the Euna the reason that he cannot stop talking, it was because he hate the silence. He hate the gap that the silence came up with the dark truth, the truth that he's not worth enough. And I guess that happened to me too. The reason that I cannot take a rest and actually reflect me is because I don't want to face the dark truth that I'm not worth enough when I rest or when I don't actually create or build on something. And as soon as that moment, I started to ask myself who decides my worth then. Probably the first thing came up with was myself, me. But I also realized that's not stable because on the good days you feel like you're worth enough. You feel like you can do everything. But also when you feel gloomy and depressed, you're like, oh, I don't have any reason to live. How about the achievement? I tried it. I try hard to keep my worth, but that's not the worth based on existing. It's more like based on the performances. That's when I changed direction of question. Instead of asking who gives my worth, I started to ask how the God actually see me and why he created me in this way. And after all of it, I was reading Acts 13 and it's about Paul and Barnabas going to the land that the God told them to and share the gospel to the people. They went to the land that the gods actually told them to, so they did, and they shared the gospel in God's way. But as you know, the outcome is like they were rejected and they were judged and they got failed. If I were a Paul, I was so mad at the gods and asked him why the outcomes is not what I expected. I did exactly what you told me, then the outcome should be miracle and in a positive way. But why is it like everyone rejected me? Am I doing wrong? But in the Acts 13, it says, Paul and Barnabas are full of joy in the Holy Spirit. And I was so shocked in the moment and tried to understand and follow how he could feel in that way. Realized that maybe I can find the answer from Paul because he was still full of joy and feeling self worth, even though the outcome was not explaining about them. And as I prayed, I realized probably he knew that he exists from God's love and he's already enough as he is. He doesn't have to succeed in sharing a gospel or something. He can be worthwhile as he is. And for those of you who are not a believer or who are believers but still not feel God's love enough, there is a theory that explains about this. If you only have one person, not a family, but one person who loves you unconditionally, you have so much reason to live by. Also in the drama, you can find same theory. Dongman asks Euna, how can the character gain the power? And Euna says, what if the character have a brother that he really loves? He would die to do something for him too. So the love makes power. Love makes the engine that never sleeps. Also in the drama, though, when Dongman realizes that Una likes him back, he's like he found like a unstoppable energy, and he realized how can the life can be so joyful? Like if you have one person that supports you, respect you, and just love as who you are. For me, I realized by reading Act 13, not because what I've done, not because who I am. And for me, I realized the engine that moves me forward is God's love. And that changes everything. And I started to ask God more love, the enough love that I can feel and actually share. When you feel the God's presence, how great the God is, the sense of that God actually loves you and cares you gives the power and the enough reason to live by. So I just want to tell you, if you are going through those phrases, if you're a believer, but still try to find the way in the life, God's are waiting for you. And even though you're not a believer, there will be someone who notice your worth and the value in you, like Una did to Dongman. So I wish in your life path you meet that person and notice you don't have to earn it. You can just enjoy, sometimes take a rest. You don't have to prove your worth by doing something. But I guess my old habit still remains with me. Sometimes I eager too much to prove myself, but I try to remind myself, hey, hold on. You don't have to prove yourself. If the reason that you're trying too hard is to prove and show your ability, or you want to prove yourself as a good, high achieving person, you don't really have to. Just be grateful and do with the love and spread the love and be generous to yourself too. So the worth is not something you earn. It's already given to you. I hope something is useful. And the drama is really fascinating. So hope you guys watch it. And I want to also ask how you guys think about the drama and what you guys did while in your existential crisis. Hope this episode somehow helps you and gives enough reason to live today too. At least I believe that you are worthwhile as who you are, like I did for everyone in this world. I'm gonna come back with a new episode next week. Hope you have a good day and see you next time. Bye.